He knocked out his entire contractual obligation in 24 hours. UMG woke up and their biggest artist was already gone. Now he's a free agent.
Just when you thought you could count Drake out, he done did a Uno reverse, a return to sender on all of us. Soon as we was like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar is a better lyricist, Drake ought to hang it up. Drake should just stop rapping. Drake done did a Uno reverse on us. Here it is, 2026. Drake has fulfilled the prophecy of Michael Jackson by becoming the first independent artist to fulfill his contract with a record label in one day by dropping 3 albums. Meaning all of his ticket sales is his, all of his album sales will be his, and wherever he gets the money to put this performance on, but it's his money and it don't belong to UMG, okay? That's what I call a y'all was playing checkers while I was playing chess move.
He knocked out his entire contractual obligation in 24 hours. UMG woke up and their biggest artist was already gone. Now he's a free agent, and reportedly a private equity firm has already put a $2 billion offer on the table. If he takes it, he bypasses the label system entirely and becomes the wealthiest artist in the history of music. More than Jay-Z, more than Taylor Swift. That's not rap beef, that's a hostile takeover. The labels have been doing artists dirty for decades, and Drake just flipped the board on all of them.
Being reported that a private equity company has offered Drake $2 billion to financially back him as an independent artist. If Drake can find a way to do what's never been done before and let private equity companies be his financial backing so that he can remain an independent artist, license his music to them, that completely takes the need for a record label completely off the table. And let's be honest, if Drake can pull it off, the biggest artist in the world, if he can pull it off, then what do you think Taylor Swift's going to do in a couple years? What do you think Bad Bunny's going to do in a couple years? The Weeknd, Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, maybe even Rihanna. And that's just the big artists that are already out. What about up and coming artists who already can market themselves because streamers are becoming the media these days? They can market themselves. Social media is out here, so they don't really need UMG for the marketing. All they really need a record label for is the funds. But you completely take the need for a record label off the table if you find some other way to replace those funds.
Twin, y'all boys bear with me now, but Drake
did not care about them
album that he dropped, gang. The way that I'm looking at it, Twin, the only one that he seemingly did care about was Iceman. Let me break it down for you. Drake only did this so that he could end his deal with UMG. But Twin, if y'all don't know, Drake was signed to UMG. He signed back in 2022 for around $400 million, Twin. The deal also included recording music, publishing, merchandise, all type of shit. So yeah, basically dropped 3 throwaway albums so he could get out his deal. Now, even though the 3 albums were like pretty ass, Twin, Iceman is the only album that has more than one good song on it. But hey, if we're deviating away from my opinion to the public consensus, everybody says that they fucking with Iceman the most anyway. Obviously, everybody saying Habibti butt, and everybody saying that Maid of Honour was just complete bull. Where do y'all think he finna end up? And was this a smart move or not? Y'all let me know.
Drake dropped those 3 albums to get out of his contract with UMG, and he basically says as such and make them know. Glad that you think that I'm soft. I'm glad that you think that I'm shy. I need you to think all these things. I got bigger than what's in my mind. The lawsuit I got is fried till the R switched place with the I. They'll frame it as people retired, but we know what's a truth and a lie. And they'll act like we signed in the deal when they pay me for wasting my time. And they'll act like I lost my appeal, but they'll pay me for changing their mind. This album, I'm never submitting it because I know that they'll never consider it. This might be the one year I won because I know that they'll never consider it. So are they 3 albums of throwaway tracks? Yeah, probably. And this is nothing new. Artists have been doing this for forever. Like Prince did this when he changed his name to the symbol and dropped those albums to get out of his contract with Warner Brothers. The Beatles have done it. Frank Ocean did it in his own way. This is nothing new. So all of the reviews and everything, like that's cool. And people, saying, ultimately though, y'all are still streaming the music and y'all gonna see this man on tour. And that's all that matters.
According to Hits Daily Double, Drake reportedly fulfilled his UMG contract with the release of his 3 new albums. They stated if, as we're hearing, this troika of album fulfills Drake's contract with UMG, it sure feels like a win-win for both parties. The artist's fabulously successful catalog is said to be remaining with UMG, or Universal. So Universal will maintain control over Drake's catalog, but Drake will now be a free agent. And we heard in the billions on the table that Drake is looking for a $1 billion deal if he was to sign elsewhere. Now, do you guys think that Drake should sign elsewhere or he should remain independent? In my opinion, he should do something like the Bad Bunny route, but that's a different conversation. Also, Drake's 3 albums combined based off first day streams are on pace to move a combined 700 to 785,000 units first week. So Iceman is projected to do 480 to 520,000. Maid of Honour is projected to do 115 to 135,000. And Habibti is projected to do 120 to 130,000. Now, before anybody tries to say something to me, back in February, I said this. Proof about Drake. I think Drake's a 500,000 first week artist. I think Drake's Iceman will do 500,000 plus. Especially when I first saw J. Cole's 300,000 projection, I said Drake is going to do 500,000. Now, this means that Drake is walking away from UMG with all of the leverage. I don't know like what's been going on, right? You know how people think I feel about Drake, right? But I've been seeing a bunch of narratives running around that like Drake is done. Drake isn't as popular as they want him to be. Drake can't do a stadium tour, all this. And I have consistently said that's a lie. And there's been other content creators, journalists, all that running with these BS lies about Drake. Drake is always going to stream well. Drake has remained the most popular artist. I think people are conflating him losing a rap battle and his popularity as one and the same. Those are two different things, two completely different points. You feel me? Drake is walking away from the showing. I'm still the highest selling rapper by far. I'm still the most popular rapper. I'm big in all of these markets. You feel me? And he's about to announce the Freeze the World tour. I am interested to see if he's going to try to do a stadium tour just to show people. Again, he has all the leverage right now. He does, let's say he decides to do a stadium tour or just a worldwide arena tour. He's going to sell a shit ton of tickets to make a whole lot of money. Now you go to that negotiating table with all of the leverage.
Drake was telling us that 3 albums were dropping the entire time. Don't believe me? Watch. So on this single that he dropped in 2024, Blue, Green, Red, it represents the color of the hard drive for each of the 3 albums. We got Iceman, which was red, Maid of Honour, which was green, and Habibti, which was blue. He also dropped 3 albums to end his contractual agreement with UMG to satisfy their album release numbers. Back in 2022, Drake signed a $400 million contract with UMG. Since then, he's been beefing with them the entire time. Each album also represents his 3 biggest categories. You got Iceman, which is your classic hip-hop bars. You got Habibti, which is Drake's love songs, his R&B slow stuff. And then you got Maid of Honour, which is the club bangers. My favorite Easter egg, he dropped 3 albums so he could go 1, 2, and 3 and show that he can be the big 3 without Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Drop in the comments your thoughts on Iceman, Maid of Honour, and Habibti. Which one's your favorite? Whether it was a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, because we're not going lower than that. Let me know, folks.
So Drake pulled an unprecedented move for a major artist by dropping 3 simultaneous albums, which, man, kudos to the Drizz, man. This is a feat of marketing that definitely took a lot of planning. But then the reason for this happening started to come out. This move has fulfilled his commitment to Universal. Every major label in America and around the world is calling his phone trying to land the most valuable free agent in music history. What the fuck are we talking about? In 2022, Drake signed a LeBron-sized deal with UMG, and this was before his massive fallout with UMG after the Kendrick beef. But at the end of all this bullshit, the ones that suffer the most are the fans, where the true Drake fans are forced to chew through 3 middling albums and pretend they love it and justifiably defend their favorite. And then rap fans experience yet another artist just dropping to get out of their deal. We saw Uzi do this with EA2, the end of Brockhampton with those 2 half-assed albums. And now Drake, who's more than capable of dropping fantastic music, drops a trifecta of poo trying to secure his back. I feel like I've heard this story from him before. And me personally, I could give a fuck about a rapper's earnings. Mainstream hip-hop is already in a creative drought, and the biggest guy in the industry isn't really helping the cause.
After the release of Drake's 3 new albums, all I've been seeing today is people saying that those were throwaway tracks so that way Drake could get off of his UMG deal. And at first, I thought it was BS. So what I did was I went straight to Google and I typed it in, and this is what I found. It says, yes, industry reports and widespread speculation indicate that Drake has fulfilled his massive recording and distribution contract with Universal Music Group, which is UMG. Here are the key details surrounding the situation. The strategy: by simultaneously releasing 3 full-length projects, Iceman, Habibti, and the Maid of Honour, Drake effectively satisfied his remaining contractual obligations in a single day. Contractual quotas: This approach, similar to Frank Ocean's departure from Def Jam, allowed Drake to hit the final album quota of his agreement rather than spacing releases out over several years. The aftermath. With the deal fulfilled, Drake has reportedly become a free agent, sparking widespread industry discussion. Reports suggest he is weighing massive offers, including massive private equity backing to secure full ownership of his future music. Prior tensions. This massive triple drop closely followed his recent legal friction with UMG, during which he had explicitly rapped about being better off independent and called for his label to free me. While his label status is still unfolding, the bulk release has allowed him to close out this chapter of his deal. If it's true, that's a genius move, because I know right now with all the buzz that he created, he's gonna have a lot of people trying to get to him. Everybody with those big money bags right now are trying to find a way to connect with Drake, if he really is a free agent. But I want you to let me know what you think about that. And now that we've had a little bit of time since the albums dropped, y'all let me know what you think about those 3 albums that he just dropped.
These artists are always on tour because if they stop touring, they would totally go broke. And it's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists.